Your voice is a little low, Ayasa. Can you just
Is my voice better now?
yeah, now it's okay. Hi guys,
Okay.
hi everyone. We have Ayasya here with us again. I hope you remember him. So yes, I will not take much time today. Let's just get started with Ayasya. Over to you, Ayasya.
Okay. Uh, Ma'am, you had said that last time some students had missed some topics and you wanted me to cover them again. Could you please tell them what topics they had missed?
Um, I think they left somewhere after an hour into your presentation, Ayasya. Just a simple revision of what you covered would be fabulous, and then going into whatever new you want to tell them, that'll be great.
Okay, sure.
Thank
Um,
you.
sure. So, did everybody here tell modus operandi? Before modus operandi, like the part where I had discussed about call data record analysis and tower dump record analysis.
Yeah, I think that'll be a great place to start, Ayasya. And then doing your case studies, I think that'll be fabulous.
Sure, sure. I'll just can you please provide me with the
Oh,
host
yes.
settings for screen share?
Yes, please. Yes, please. I'm so sorry. I'm doing this off a phone today. So, yes, you are sorted.
Just one second.
Did that work?
I'm just sharing this. A second. Yeah, just one second. Is the screen visible? I'll just get to the part. Yeah. So we were on forensics. We were discussing forensics where some of you had left. So I guess everybody had heard till metadata analysis. I need confirmations, please, guys. So
Yes.
I'll then start with metadata then.
Yes, please.
Okay. So has everybody done TDR, tower dump record analysis?
Yes.
And called okay, so for those who have not heard about tower dump record analysis, so it is basically the process of recollecting and collecting and processing and analyzing large volumes of telecommunication data, that is tower dumps, that is generally obtained from cellular towers to extract actionable insights for investigations. This tower dump refers to a comprehensive data set that is provided by the telecommunication companies, which provides us with details about mobile devices that were connected to one or more cell towers in a specific geographic area during a specific period of time. You may have heard about the terms known as IMEI numbers of your mobile devices, right? They are generally printed nowadays on your mobile boxes, the main box in which your mobile comes, along with a small barcode just below it. So that's the type of identification number through which your mobile device can be identified, either through your cell towers or even when you just resell your phone, right? You have to send your IMEI number so that they can verify that it's actually the phone that you had selected. So this is also something that's used in metadata analysis for an investigation. So what's the key principle behind it? So tower dumps basically capture metadata from all devices in a tower's coverage area, creating a broad net that includes both suspects and innocent individuals and innocent individuals. So it analyzes and filters this data to identify relevant devices or patterns, often correlating it with other evidence such as digital forensics and OSINT. And it is able to pinpoint suspects or reconstruct incidents as well. And after that, we have CDR or IPDR, CDR and IPDR. So CDR stands for Call Detail Record Analysis. So it is the process where metadata logs generated by telecommunication systems documenting details of voice calls and text messages such as SMS or other activities that you perform on the phone are captured, such as calling numbers, call duration, the timestamp, the cell tower ID, and your IMEI numbers. But what you discuss during the call with the other person is not captured here. In cybersecurity, CDR analysis is mostly used to investigate crimes, track suspects, detect anomalies, or sometimes maybe even reconstruct events. I guess somebody is on mute. I guess somebody is on mute. Okay, let's proceed. So what's the key principle behind call detailed records? So this provides a detailed trail of telephony interactions, thus serving them as digital traces. As we had discussed upon Locard's exchange principle that link devices, users, or locations to specific activities, that enables attribution and pattern identification as well. And then we have IPDR analysis, that is, IPDR stands for Internet Protocol Detail Record. So IPDR analysis is where metadata logs documenting internet-based activities such as web browsing, VoIP calls or voice over internet protocol calls, streaming, or data transfers are included. These capture details like the source IP address, the port number, the timestamp, the device identifier, and is typically generated by the internet service providers, which can be Airtel, Jio, Vodafone, Idea, whatever, right? So in cybersecurity, this type of analysis helps the law enforcement track online behavior and detect malicious activities such as malware communications or even support forensic investigations. So what's the key principle behind IPDR analysis? So IPDRs provide metadata about internet interactions, which offers insights into network activity and enables investigators to trace cybercrimes or identify threats even when content is encrypted. All my data was correct. All my information was correct. I had proof of how we supported children work. But I struggled. I guess somebody's speaking in the background. And then Ami told me.
I think, just a second. I think it's an error. Just give me a moment.
I have a lot of I don't.
Yeah, you can continue, I asked.
Okay. So after that, we have modus operandi. So what does modus operandi or MO mean? It refers to the characteristic patterns, techniques, behaviors, or even procedures used by a cyber criminal or threat actor to carry out cyber attacks or cyber crimes. In cybersecurity, an MO is a repeatable set of actions, tools, or tactics that define how an attacker operates, including their preferred targets, attack vendors, tools, and post attack behaviors. So, understanding an attacker's MO is very critical for attributing attacks, then helps predicting future threats and developing effective defenses. What's the key principle behind a modus operandi? So, an attacker's MO leaves a unique digital footprint. These traces, manifested in metadata, logs, or attack artifacts, allow cybersecurity professionals to identify patterns, link incidents, and attribute attacks to specific actors or groups. By analyzing an MO, investigators can reconstruct the attack, anticipate similar attacks, and implement countermeasures as well. So, this is basically what we had discussed in the previous session. And after that, we had done a small case study based upon that. And I guess we can start with today's session. Before that, if anybody has any doubts they would like to discuss, we can do that. Guys, please, any doubt? No doubts. Okay, so okay. So then we'll start with today's session.
Zainab, Sanya, do you have questions?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Please go ahead, Zainab.
Uh, Bhaiya, can you repeat last one, please?
IPTR analysis, modus operandi.
Yes, please.
Sure, sure. Okay. So what is modus operandi is basically it is the specific characteristics, patterns, techniques, behaviors, or even procedures that a cyber criminal or a threat actor generally uses to carry out cyber attacks and cyber crimes. So modus operandi also stands as an MO, and it is a repeatable set of actions, sometimes even tools and tactics that define how an attacker operates, even what may be their preferred target, their target attack vectors, tools, and post-attack behaviors. Like if they have already done a cyber crime, what would they do after that? On a general scale, if that's a cyber criminal, if that's a serial cyber criminal that has been doing cyber crimes for a long time. So it helps predict what may be his post-attack like steps and behaviors. And this MO is very critical for attributing attacks and predicting future threats, as well as developing effective defenses. So the main principle behind it is that an MO leaves a unique digital footprint, and these allow the cybersecurity professionals to trace the metalogs, the metadata, the logs, even the attack artifacts, and allow the cybersecurity professionals to identify patterns, link incidents, and attribute attacks to specific actors or groups. And this is how this is how law enforcement can anticipate such attacks in the future and even implement some countermeasures to prevent it.
Okay, ma'am.
Any other doubt, Sanya?
Uh, yes. Bhaya, can you just say the full form of IPDR, please?
Yes, so IPDR basically stands for Internet Protocol Detail Record.
Okay. Thank you.
Rajveer ji.
So yeah, can we mold that footprint cannot be erased or something like that?
Your voice was a little low. Can you please repeat?
Uh, the emote footprint, are we can hackers remove it or not?
Yeah, so sometimes hackers are a bit careful and they try to remove their footprints while they leave and escape the crime scene, but they are never able to remove 100% of the footprints, as I had showcased in the previous session, saying that in the digital world, whatever we do, traces of them are left behind. Even 10% or 15%, if not more, are left behind in the internet protocol in the web. So on the web, even if you have deleted a WhatsApp or like text chain, right, it would be present in some sort of backup or something else. So there is obviously some traces that can be left behind, even if they try to sweep up their traces and all their evidence. Any other doubts, or we can proceed?
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So I'll just share my screen and start with today's session. Okay. Okay. So today we are going to be discussing about hacking and exploitation. Okay. So what is hacking and exploitation, right? First, we move on to what is hacking. So hacking basically is um, Hacking basically means and refers to the act of identifying and manipulating vulnerabilities in a computer system, network, applications, or devices to gain unauthorized access, control, or information. It involves using technical knowledge, creativity, and problem solving skills to bypass security mechanisms or exploit weaknesses and vulnerabilities. It can be performed with various intentions. Some are ethical, malicious, or exploratory. So, what is the scope and intent of hacking? The ethical hacking, the first one is ethical hacking. Authorized professionals, which are often called as white hat hackers, which are about which I had discussed in the previous session, simulate attacks to identify vulnerabilities in systems, helping organizations strengthen their security. For example, a penetration tester might attempt to breach a company's network to uncover weaknesses before malicious actors do. And so, what is malicious hacking? Malicious hacking is unauthorized individuals or black hat hackers exploit systems for personal gain, such as stealing data, disrupting services, or deploying malware. For instance, a hacker might breach a database to steal credit card information of a bank from a bank. And the last is gray hat hacking. So, gray hat hacking falls between ethical and malicious, where hackers exploit systems without permission but may disclose vulnerabilities to the system owner, often for recognition or reward, which I had discussed about in the previous session, which is known as bug bounty, where some companies do allow you to explore their database systems and their whole cloud systems and hack and tell them if they have any vulnerabilities, upon which they will provide you some sort of recognition or award if they have policies set in place for that. And after that, we move on to exploitation. After exploitation, I'll take any questions if anybody has. So, what is exploitation? Exploitation is the process of leveraging a vulnerability or weakness in a system, application, or network to achieve a specific goal, such as gaining unauthorized access, escalating privileges, or executing malicious code. It is a critical phase in hacking where the attacker moves from identifying a vulnerability to actively abusing it. So, what are some aspects of exploitation? The main and the most important one is vulnerability. A vulnerability is a flaw or weakness in a system's design, implementation, or configuration that can be exploited. Some examples include unpatched software, misconfigured servers, or weak authentication mechanisms. Some common types of vulnerability include software bugs, configuration errors, and logical flaws. Logical flaws is basically poorly designed access controls or session management. Session is basically when you log in into any type of account, let's say Instagram or let's say Facebook, any type of account, even Microsoft account. So when you start, when you get logged into your account, then your session starts, and when you log out of account, then your session ends. So when you open Instagram on your phone, and after that, let's say after 20 minutes, you've done with whatever you want to do, text, call, whatever, and then you close the Instagram. So that's basically the amount of one session when you open and close the application. And so logical flaws are basically poorly designed session management. And Instagram and Facebook, they both have that, but only and only when you open it on a web page, like on Chrome or something, not on apps. And what are some types of exploits? They include remote exploits that are targeted systems over a network without requiring local access. Then local exploits, which are requiring initial access to the system and are used to escalate privileges, such as exploiting a kernel vulnerability to gain root access. Then the third is client-side exploits. It means that target end user applications such as browsers or PDF readers. Example, exploiting Adobe Acrobat vulnerabilities via a malicious PDF. Then the last type of exploit is a web application exploit. This focuses on web specific vulnerabilities such as SQL injection, cross site scripting or XSS, or cross site request forgery or CSRF. Okay, then we go into questions. First questions. Any questions? Yes, Rajveer.
Uh, yeah, what is the cloud system and how it works for the databases?
What is?
What is
Can
the
you
cloud
please repeat?
system and cloud system and what how it works for the databases?
So cloud system is basically where you don't need to store your data locally on a drive on your computer, and it is connected through the internet, and you basically use a thing called as API through which all your data is remotely accessed from a data center in any country on earth, and it can be either on the land or even below the land, that is in water. So data centers exert a lot of heat, and therefore some companies such as Microsoft, Meta, or even Apple prefer to keep their data centers in water in a vacuum sealed tube. Okay, any other question, guys? Yes, Krishna ji.
Yes, my question is, as you mentioned that um, comparatively applications are not, uh, web-based applications are more vulnerable than application comparatively. Why is it so?
So the thing is that applications that are devised for mobile devices, such as apps, right? Any sort of apps, Instagram, Blinkit, whatever apps, are designed using different type of uh, programming languages, such as JavaScript, where JavaScript can include uh, React Native, React JS, and all. And even and is built upon different types of coding frameworks as well. And whereas web applications and web pages are made upon different types of frameworks, which may allow some vulnerabilities in some cases, as most of these programming languages are open source. Even let's say Python or JavaScript, some frameworks of JavaScript are open work, like such as Expo, which allows any person to input a specific library, and they can export a specific library into the whole framework of the programming language, and then they can import it and use it as they please it. And so it's that easy to create their own library, which may even contain malicious code for sometimes, though it is scanned thoroughly, but sometimes it is missed. And so that type of library can used for other purposes as well.
Okay, thank you so much.
There was one other doubt, right? Rukmani ji.
Yes. So I had a doubt, like when you create a new, you said that we have weakness in the systems, right? So when we create when we create a new system, we find this weakness, or like as the system gets older, then we find the weakness. Like what? How do we find and where? When do we find it?
So, are you saying as a user, or are you wanting to say as a cybersecurity professional, or somebody
No,
who's
no,
tracking
no.
these
Like for
things?
example, when a company develops a system, so
Yes,
yeah, so how do they get to know that what are the weaknesses? So professionals find out these weaknesses. So do we
yes.
get to know about these weaknesses when the software is new, or do we get to know it when the software gets older and older?
Okay, so as more and more people use the software, they provide feedback, right? Whenever a new app is launched, the app requests feedback from every user, that provide us with a feedback, whatever your experience has been using our app, or how have you liked it, what are its flaws that you have noticed. Let's say design, let's say backend, like your messaging wasn't working properly, or your search wasn't working properly in our app. So please tell us your feedback. And otherwise as well, there are people known as pen testers, which have the specific role of testing for specific viruses. And so if any type of virus is caught, then they will make additions to that code, and then you will get a notification on your Play Store that you need to update this app. And as you
Okay, got
update it, the code gets updated.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question, or should we start with the next topic? No questions? Sure, let's start with the next topic. So this is today's most important topic, that is the ways of hackers. And so what ways do hackers generally use, right? So here we have the first thing that is known as a zero-day vulnerability. A zero-day vulnerability is a security flaw in software, hardware, or firmware that is unknown to the vendor or developer and has not yet been patched or mitigated. So the term zero day refers to the fact that the vendor has had 0 days to address the issue since its discovery. These vulnerabilities are particularly dangerous because they can be exploited by attackers before a fix is available, often catching organizations off guard, such as any antivirus software that you use, such as what Windows Defender, or what or like any other inbuilt antivirus as well, right? So what are some key characteristics of zero-day vulnerabilities? The first one is unknown to the vendor. It is unknown to the vendor, right? So the vulnerability is not documented in public vulnerability database, or CVE, such as CVE, or known to the software vendor at the time of exploitation. This distinguishes 0 days from known vulnerabilities which have patches or mitigations available. Like they have been solved, they have antiviruses for it. And the second type is exploitable. So a 0 day vulnerability can be actively exploited by attackers to compromise systems, steal data, escalate privileges, or cause other harm. The exploit code, a 0 day exploit, is developed to take advantage of the flaw before a patch is released. So it has high impact as well. Because no patch exists, 0 day vulnerability are highly valuable to attackers, including cyber criminals, nation state actors, and hacktivists. They often they are often used in attacks, targeted attacks such as advanced persistent threats (APTS) due to their stealth and effectiveness. Then the fourth is limited window. The 0 day status lasts until the vendor becomes aware of the vulnerability and releases a patch or mitigation. After this, it becomes a known vulnerability. It's a very small window where hackers can take advantage of this. And as the pen testers get to know about it, they develop an antivirus or a patch for it, and they release it into software updates or phone updates. As you may know that you get phone updates every month, right? So any type of virus that has been released, it will be patched during that month and will be included in the next month's update, security update, right? Any doubts, or we'll continue further?
Continue, please.
Okay. So then we move on to the topic, that is what is a database breach. So as its definition goes, a database breach occurs when an unauthorized individual or entity gains access to steal, modify, or destroy data stored in a database, compromising its confidentiality, integrity, or availability. Databases which store structured data such as customer records, financial information, or intellectual property are prime targets for attackers due to high value of the data they contain. There is a topic. Yes, somebody saying something. Somebody was saying something. Sure, let's move on. So there's a small topic here that we're going to cover, that is SQL. What is SQL, right? So SQL, that stands for Structured Query Language, is a standardized programming language used to manage and manipulate relational databases. It enables user to create, read, update, and delete their data, as well as perform tasks like querying, indexing, and managing database structures. For cybersecurity professionals, SQL is critical for understanding database operations, analyzing logs, and identifying vulnerabilities such as SQL injection, where attackers exploit poorly sanitized queries to manipulate databases. Then we move on to how a database breach occurs. Database breaches can result from various attack vectors, often exploiting technical, human, or procedural weaknesses. There are, now I'm going to talk about some common causes. The first one is exploitation or vulnerabilities, exploitation of vulnerabilities. So that is software flaws, that is unpatched vulnerabilities in database management systems, DBMS, such as MySQL, Oracle, or Microsoft SQL Server. An example of this is a zero-day vulnerability that we had previously discussed, which allows remote code execution as well. And part of this exploitation of vulnerabilities is application vulnerabilities. So web applications connected to databases may have flaws like SQL injection, allowing attackers to manipulate queries. A query is basically a set of rules written for allowing login into the database system. Like if you're a login user of WhatsApp, there is a query written that you have to first enter your mobile number, then you get the OTP, then you're able to access your chats. SQL bypasses that if it was a web-based thing. And WhatsApp is more encrypted, but some other platforms do have SQL injection enabled, and they often do fall prey to that. Then we have credential compromise, which is phishing, where attackers trick employees into revealing database credentials via phishing emails or social engineering. Then there is weak passwords and credential reuse. Attackers use credentials stolen from other breaches to access databases. The third type of uh, cause through which database occurred is malware and backdoors. Malwares such as ransomware or data stealing trojans can infiltrate systems and exfiltrate database contents. An example of which is a ransomware attack encrypts a SQL server database, demanding payment for decryption. Uh, this has been seen in some hospitals across the globe as well, even some organizations. And in most cases, ransomware is a type of exploit where you're not able to get back your data uh, until unless you pay the fee that is requested. If you don't, they will sell the whole data on 1/10 of the price they were requesting on the globe for any hacker to use it as the police. And then we have the fourth cause, that is physical or network based attacks. So network intrusion, where attackers compromise network infrastructures via VPN, exploit, or anything else to reach the database server. Physical access is gaining physical access to the server to extract data directly, which is less common in modern cloud environments. It was previously common, such as spy networks and all. And then we have one of the most important topics of today, that is the SS7 attacks. So understanding SS7 attacks is crucial for recognizing vulnerabilities in telecommunication infrastructure and their implications for mobile security. So what are SS7 attacks? As its definition goes, SS7 stands for Signaling System Number 7. Attacks are cyber attacks that exploit vulnerabilities in the SS7 protocol, which is a legacy telecommunication standard used to manage call setup, SMS routing, and other services across global mobile networks. These attacks allow malicious actors to intercept communications, track locations, or commit fraud by manipulating signaling messages, often without detection by the network or user. Some common attack methods that they use under this is call and SMS interception. So attackers reroute calls or text to their own devices, enabling eavesdropping or capturing sensitive data such as OTP codes. Then there is location tracking. So by querying network elements, attackers can pinpoint a device's location via cell tower data. That was TDR, CDR, and all. Then there is subscriber information disclosure. So attackers access details like phone numbers, IMSI, which is International Mobile Subscriber Identity, or account data as well in some cases. Then there is fraudulent transactions. So intercepted two-factor authentication codes or OTPs allow attackers to bypass security for banking or online accounts. Then we have DDoS or denial of services DOS attacks. So here attackers overload signaling channels to disrupt services. And the last type of attack that is most commonly used in this type of cases are SIM swap or recycle attacks, where the cyber criminal or the attacker deactivates a victim's SIM or hijack recycled numbers to control linked accounts. Yeah, the accounts linked via SIM card. So what is the main impact of an SS7 attack? So first one is privacy violation, where interception of calls, texts, and location data compromises personal and business communication. The second is financial loss, where bypassing two-factor authentication codes or OTP enables unauthorized transactions, costing individuals and organization millions. And then the third is reputational damage, where telecom operators face trust erosion if breaches are exposed. And there is surveillance, where state actors or cyber criminals can use SS7 for mass surveillance or targeted espionage. That is basically targeting on a specific organization. And the last most common impact of this is service disruption, where DDoS attacks, denial of service attacks, can disable mobile services, impacting critical operations. Okay. Then we have another one, which is some sort of famous, if you would like to, because you must have heard about this, but not as much as we're going to talk about it right now, right? Before that, any doubts? We have covered quite a lot right now. Database breach, then SS7 attacks. Any doubts, please? Yes, guys. Swapnil ji.
So we talked about CIA some time ago, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Do you mind taking us one-liner through each one of them, and how it is important for an organization?
Confidentiality, integrity, and the last one that you said?
Availability.
Yes, so confidentiality is basically privacy and terms. And for that, there is a whole other department of cybersecurity, that is cyber law. And as we go into a world where everything is cyber, as you may have heard that in Dubai, you are able to pay with just your iris scan. That is, you just place your face in a small machine which scans your face, and your bank account can be accessed from that automatically, and it gets authorized, and your payment gets done automatically because there is a system for that. So there is very high privacy laws required for conducting such actions, because if such breaches occur where the user's data is stolen by hackers, such as their faces, their iris values, and other things such as fingerprints, biometrics, their account passwords, or IFSC codes, there will be high implications, and they are maybe even going to sell their data on the dark web. Then we have integration. It's basically the importance of integrating antiviruses and patches in the softwares in due time so that the users do not face much difficulty while using the software. And the last one was what did you say for A?
Availability, please.
Yeah, so availability is basically how how easily the what was I going to say? How easily anybody is able to get access of the software easily and also use it without having cybersecurity problems through it, right? Next, please.
Yes. So my question is, as you said,
Just 1 second. Sakyajit, I'll tell you more about availability in some time. Okay. Yes, Krishnji.
yes. So my question is, uh, as you talked about encryption, so why not most of the application uses encryption service, and what are their advantages and disadvantages? And even I want to know about DDoS attack more.
Wait, about DDoS attacks.
Yes, about DDoS attack and in encryption. What are their advantages and disadvantages? Why most of
Sure.
the application don't use it?
Okay, so uh, I guess most of the applications do use encryptions in today's date, because if you don't use an encryption, if you would visit a web page or website, it would show that the application is not secure and you should not proceed towards it. It is known as an SSL certificate and is used in most websites. And so I guess most of the websites and web pages and apps use encryption in today's date because it's some sort of mandatory to use. And there is no disadvantage to using encryptions. There is an advantage only, but it's only about the quality of encryptions that organizations use. The most famous type of encryption that has been providing a very secure connection between lines and is even used in the banking industry while making contactless payments like wire transfers is SHA-256 type. So SHA-256 is a type of encryption that was used in many types like banking industry, your secure terminals of the government and all. But as we proceed into the phase of quantum computing, there has been a very big update that if you may know about qubits is like we have uh, processing bits and
Yes,
binary. Yeah.
for binary
So in
zero,
qubit,
one,
yes, yes,
three.
yes.
There are three possibilities, right?
Yeah, so in qubits, China has developed a sort of supercomputer, which they are saying that is able to crack the SHA-256. So at the moment, most of the governments as well use SHA-256 encryption for their government services. And so most of the governments have also had some programs for developing blockchain technologies, which are harder and harder to crack and would be replacing SHA-256 very soon if this is a confirmed news. And due to this, our Prime Minister last year had announced a fund of over 600 crores to create India's first indigenously built supercomputer that is able to work on these problems as well. Rajvi ji,
uh, how the viruses and malwares are acting on the server, please.
your voice is still low.
Sorry. Uh, how how the viruses and the malware act on a particular application or the web page?
Okay, so each virus has specific code that is totally specific to the action that occurs in an application, that is indexing or sorting or database connections or APIs, and is deployed in such a manner that it works only and only on that. Because if it would work on separate actions which it would not have a role for, in some cases the virus would be caught beforehand by the antivirus already deployed in the software, and therefore it would not be able to complete its role. Durgeshwari ji.
Yes, so my question was that if there is a video of any person and that video is hacked and that video is going viral on web or any application, so what type of hacking is this? And the second question is how, like, is there any law to protect this kind of hacking so that we can save this kind
So
of
so
situation?
what do you mean by video being hacked?
What I mean by video being hacked is on our devices there are a lot of photos and videos. So without
Yes.
knowing that video got viral or that video or photo got viral,
Okay.
leaked
Okay.
basically.
So video or photo going viral, if you have not done that, there is, I guess, no specific law, at least in India, for that. But if there is if the image is an explicit image, where there are some details that you would not like to be exposed and all. So there are some tools that the Indian government along with the Interpol have created specifically for kids and teenagers under 18, and as well as adults above the age of 18. And I had discussed about them in the previous session. I'll share the links at the end of the session in the chat as well. Danish ji.
Thank you.
Yes, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. You're completely audible.
Yeah, so I just wanted to ask you, as you told about SQL injection query. So suppose if a hacker has injected an SQL query on our database and like the data has been corrupted and all, is it possible for us to retrieve that data back? For example, the queries has been manipulated and the database has been changed. Now, as a company owner, I want my data to be back. So is it possible to query the SQL things and to get the old stuff back?
Yeah. So in most cases, SQL injections are not that harmful as you had just like told me about. So SQL injections can be used to gain access and authorized access to databases. But in most cases, the databases that are being used is a copy of the original one in real time through the cloud, and is being controlled through local and cloud redundancy policies. And so if SQL in your case destroys or damages or manipulates the local database, the live database, then there are backups till the previous hour or the previous day, depending upon the company's policy, and they would generally restore it in the upcoming session when you visit it back.
Yes, understood.
Any other doubt, guys? As I have mostly seen, I guess it's a question from Krishna ji. So, reason for DDoS attacks, right? Yeah. So, as I've mostly seen, the common behavioral characteristics, attackers who launch DDoS attacks almost generally just want to ensure that their efforts have been successful and that the availability of resources that they're targeting is decreased significantly for some time. Some attackers do excitate when they discover that the DDoS attack was successful, while some more professional ones just simply tell their customers about the attack and move on to the next. Sometimes the owner of the attacked resources who provides the DDoS attack are fighting over these. And so it's in their best interest to ensure that the attacker does not learn how successful the attack has been, in some cases of insurances as well. I was on mute, right? Previously, where I was
Yes,
talking
yes.
about DDoS attacks. Yeah. So Apnil ji का question है, it is done unknowingly or to crash down a website and services. Okay. So अगर कोई services crash करना चाह रहा है तो knowingly कर रहा है. If anybody has been posting that much data on a server that it crashes, so it's mostly knowingly only and purposely as well. Maybe for some advantage. Yes, Tanish ji.
Yes. So I wanted to ask you, for example, I am a developer and I'm developing a website through React and Shopify and WordPress. Okay. Just suppose I'm developing my website. So if I'm developing it from Shopify or WordPress, so they provide certain SSL, what you can services and security. So I have, being a company owner, I have deployed my website over there. So is it safe for me to trust on Shopify or WordPress for the security purpose? For example, being a hacker, like I have my data over there, like my inventory system and my XYZ data are there. And it is a secure thing. I know WordPress and Shopify, they have the security services and all. And so like if a hacker or a attacker wants to attack on my website, so does Shopify or WordPress have that strong, what you can say, security services? Or do
Okay.
I need to do additional thing for security things?
Okay. So that's a very good question. The best one that I've heard till now. So in most cases, the antiviruses and policies that are deployed by Shopify and such organizations on their platforms are secure enough. But just in case, if the hacker is more powerful and knows details on how to hack better, most of the users that deploy their stores and all on Shopify or even WordPress do have a local backup of about a month so that they can recover the data if in case it is if in case it is accidentally deleted or hacked. So they provide local backups as well, and of a month or so. If it is of no use, they delete it and move on to the next month, because you're already paying for storage as well on Shopify, so you don't need to store your data for that longer if you don't have a usage for that. Any other question? Guys, I'm all ears to your questions. I guess there are about 27 of you here. If I guess if everybody has understood it, we can move. If any question, please tell. We also have a very interesting case study after that.
I asked you just to keep a track of time.
I just saw the time. I just saw the time. I'll just request everybody to wait till 7:15. If it's possible, the last till 7:15. Okay. We'll not
I asked you
do.
we can finish as much as possible because they have other classes also, so we can wind up.
Okay, so we'll just move on to the case study.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have the case study of the company known as Wazir X. It was a cryptocurrency exchange breach in 2024. So Wazir X, you must know companies like Grow, right? Where you can invest on stocks and all. It's a very popular platform these days. So what basically happened was on July 18th last year, WazirX, which is currently India's largest crypto exchange, lost about $234.9 million. That amounts to about 2,000 crore rupees in digital assets due to a sophisticated cyber attack impacting about 4.2 million users or about 42 lakh users. This breach involved hacking, exploitation, potential zero-day vulnerabilities, database breaches, and suspected phishing, making it a key case for cybersecurity analysis, right? So, what were the incident details? I'll tell you about it, right? The first one was reconnaissance. That was there was a suspected North Korean group that conducted OSINT and phishing to target the WazirX multi-sig wallet, requiring 4 of 6 signatures for transactions. So these signatures are like two-factor authentications that I was talking about to access the wallet, right? And this is based upon phishing and hacking. Then we were sadly not able to cover phishing. Sorry. Then we have initial compromise that happened around 2024, where there was a person who created a fake WazirX account, sold it via Telegram to another person who used it to gain unauthorized access, likely via a social engineering or tool or phishing, and it is based upon exploitation. Then the third step was multi-sig wallet exploitation, which also occurred in July last year, where attackers exploited a discrepancy in liminal custodies interface, which was the hacking group, replacing a transaction payload to control the smart contract. And therefore, they were able to drain the tokens of about $234.9 million and in 67 minutes only. So $234.9 million amounts to 15,200 Ethereum coins in cryptocurrency or 5.43 billion Shiba Inu coins. Only in 67 minutes. This is based upon hacking, exploitation, database breach, and potential zero-day vulnerabilities. Then the fourth step was fund exfiltration, where stolen assets were converted to Ethereum and laundered via Tornado Crash, a platform that obscured the trail based upon database breach and hacking. And then the fifth step was detection and response. Again in July, happened in July. WazirX detected the breach via blockchain monitoring and halted the withdrawals and issued a public alert on X, that was previously Twitter. And this is based upon hacking and database breach. So aftermath of this was loss of about 45% of WazirX personal reserves that were about $500 million that caused the market to crash, basically the cryptocurrency market to basically crash halfway. Then there was a reputation problem where the user trust eroded. A proposed 55 by 45 loss sharing plan was criticized and reversed. Then it was operations where trading and withdrawals were suspended with portfolios reset to the July 18th state. That was the day of this that was the day of this attack. Then the last one was regulatory, where lack of crypto laws complicated recovery. User lawsuits followed. People sued WazirX for it. WazirX is an Indian company, and in India there are very less laws related to cryptocurrency because till now in India cryptocurrency is not a legal tender to use, whereas it can only be used in terms of trading. And so we have 5 minutes. We'll wait for only 5 minutes. Anybody who can track what happened, what the law enforcement did to like catch and all, to catch the things, right? To catch the perpetrators and the attackers. We have 5 steps for it. Yeah. And we can start. Anybody who can join some dots. Then I'll reveal the whole thing. We'll discuss at 7:05. Guys, it's totally based upon what we had discussed today. You can try to join at least 1 to 2 dots. I'll tell you the first 2 steps of what had happened in law enforcement actions. First of all, Wazirex filed a complaint with Delhi Police's IFSO unit and reported to CERT, India, and FIU. Then the FIR filed under BNS and IT Act of India at the PS Special Cell, the police station special cell, New Delhi, was registered. Then we have 3 steps that is about the investigation, where you guys can join some dots. What the police did. Guys, any points? Anybody who was able to discover something? This is quite a difficult one that we had discussed previously in the last session. 1 point, starting point. Anybody? Yes, Durgeshwari ji. Always have some point.
Yes, so I think after the 2 step that you said, they maybe will find out that what type of hacking that has been done. So I don't know for sure what type of hacking is done, but I think that is 0 day vulnerability that has been done. That's what I can connect with now.
Okay. Krishna ji.
Yes, I think that do they track the IP address from where they are attacking or something?
In such cases where cryptocurrency is involved, IP address generally plays a very small role only because cryptocurrency works on blockchain, which is a complex technology that generally hides the IP address in cases that have encryptions, high levels of encryption. So I'll just I'll just tell the other steps. So firstly, the police used blockchain analytics to trace the funds while linking the attack to the North Korean hacking group that I told you about. And then Wazir X companies' laptops were seized and they faced challenges with non-cooperation with the other antivirus company and all. And after that, in November, the person that had created a fake account was arrested, while the person to whom he had sent the detail is still not arrested. And after that, Currently, till now, $23 million of bounty was offered, and Delhi High Court has issued notices to ED and FIU in October 18, 2024 for more investigation. So the investigation still occurs because only 23 million has been recovered till now out of 234.6.9 million dollars. Okay, guys, any questions? And then we can end the session.
Yes, so my question is it still possible through any ways that they can recover their coins? Is there any possibilities?
Maybe like we had possibilities with Doctor Strange in Marvel, like 14 million in a world, because it has been quite a large amount of time after that. And if the group has been smart enough, which it has till now, it would have shifted all of its amount into smaller and smaller accounts. And blockchain is something that is not traceable uh, on a very large scale easily, and so most of it has been separated, gone into different accounts, and maybe not able to recover. And so they did not hack the individual people's account, whereas they hacked WazirX's personal account, which was their reserve through which they used to buy more coins to provide it to their users. And in some cases, it was deployed with the users as well. Yes, Krishnaji.
Was there any insider how they actually got to know the vulnerabilities in their account?
So the police had traced the perpetrator, not being able to trace it till now, but there were some vulnerabilities which were discovered when the WazirX's laptops were seized by the police, and that's why they were able to trace and recover about $23 million worth of funds. It is not enclosed till now if it was an insider job or not, but what can be done now? Any other doubts, or we can end the session here? Guys, any doubts?
There is a question on chat box.
How to protect our privacy account to this hacker? लकी जी, आप प्राइवेसी अकाउंट के माध्यम से क्या कहना चाह रहे हैं? Which type of privacy account? Like आप WhatsApp की बात कर रहे हैं, आप बैंकिंग की बात कर रहे हैं?
Like a bank account, and privacy, our photos and album can be used as
Okay, so here most of the things is basically two-factor authentication. एंड टू फैक्टर ऑथेंटिकेशन में आप अपने स्पेसिफिक कोड जनरेट कर सकते हैं, जो आप जब तक डालेंगे नहीं तो वो अनलॉक नहीं होगा आपका पासवर्ड. But in some cases, two-factor authentication is so complex. The thing is complex is that if you forget that a phrase that you had written, you will not be able to recover it. Okay, आप वो कर सकते हैं. एंड बैंकिंग में आपका होता है कि आपने एक बार लॉगिन किया, फिर उसका जैसे ही आपने ऐप बंद किया, आपका लॉगिन हट जाएगा, आपको वापस से प्रॉपर पूरा लॉगिन करना पड़ेगा आपका सारा डिटेल डाल करके आपके ऐप में. वो पॉसिबल है. एंड बैंकिंग में भी आपके टू फैक्टर ऑथेंटिकेशन अवेलेबल होते हैं. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, इफ यू आर यूजिंग द ऑथेंटिकेशन ऑन अ लैपटॉप, देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड अ टाइटन की, that is like a small USB pen drive which has your credentials, and whenever you want to use that service, you just plug in that Titan key into your laptop, and then your credentials will be signed in. Until that, you won't be able to sign it with anything else. It is also known as a security key and is now an option to sign in into Windows as well, and was an option since Windows 10. सो आप अपना क्रेडेंशियल उसमें टाइटन की में जैसे ही डालते हैं, उसके बाद आप जब तक उसको डालेंगे नहीं, आपके ना बैंकिंग चलेगा. आप उसमें एक बार में आई थिंक सो 3 क्रेडेंशियल स्टोर कर सकते हैं, एंड वो एक फिजिकल पेन ड्राइव है, तो उसको किसी भी डिजिटल क्लाउड चीज से आप कनेक्ट नहीं कर सकते. तो ये सेफ है इसलिए.
Thank you, sir. And sir, VPN, sir, अच्छा sir, VPN is just say as to forward attacker.
VPN is some sort of safe, but since last year, each VPN company in India has been ordered, working in India, providing services in India has been ordered to provide all the data to the Indian government in terms of any investigation or anything else. So whatever your data may be on the VPN, incognito, or anything else is publicly to the government, and it can be used anywhere in an investigation. And if you're found suspect in any type of case under any law, you may be addressed to a sentence as well. Guys, I had posted a link last time which was about a roadmap into cybersecurity. Some of you weren't here, and I'm posting it again. This link is valid for 7 days, so you can just go to this link. I've created this roadmap specially for you. It is a specific roadmap covering everything, and you need not do anything else other than this to go into the field of cybersecurity. You can download it until the next week. That's ma'am, the link that you had shared previously would be not available now. Please share this link with them.
Sure, definitely.
Thank you so much, everybody. Any other questions till now? I'm here to answer. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I hope this session was interesting for you.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank you
very
so much.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
That's
so
all.
much.
Thank you, Bhaiya.
Thank you so much,
Thank you so
everyone.
much.
Thank you, Bhaiya.
Hi.
Bye.
दिखने Bye. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm in the car. Thank
Oh,
you so
yeah.
much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
So much.
Bye. Tapsi.